Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So, in today's session, we are going to interact with Mr. Aditya Gogia. Aditya has been working with Dream11 for broadly 3 years now. He is a senior product manager here, and he joined Dream11 after graduating from ISB, the Indian School of Business, and he had a very eventful time at ISB. I could see that he was the theater club president. He
Yeah.
was a winner in the ISL, which is in the swimming and basketball tournaments. Very interesting profile. And before ISB, he was working with the likes of Oracle, as well as I think he has worked with Make My Trip as well. So my first question to you, Aditya, is uh, when you came to ISB, did you have product management as your singular goal, or were you in the exploration stage when you started your MBA?
So, two answers to that. One is what I wrote in my essay, and the other was what was true. So in my essay, I actually sold product management very hard. I said that's exactly what I wanted to do, and to be fair, it sounded good. I actually in my essay I had written about I want to create a product like Dream11. So it was very interesting that I got into Dream11 at the end. But practically speaking, I think between consulting and product management, it was something that I was still open to, and it remained that way for a while. I think until like a few weeks were left for placements, and I had, a chat with a friend where I was from ISB, where I was like, okay, it's really hectic. This is a completely different set of practice is involved in consulting, completely different for product management. What do you do? And that's when we sort of, had a heart to heart where he was like, listen, just pick a lane. Let's just do, it's too much to do. Pick one.
Hmm.
That's when I sort of chose, okay, it seems like product management is a better fit. Yeah.
And why, what was the realization which, propelled you towards PM over consulting specifically?
So I think just some of the differences, like for example, being able to own something end to end for a long period of time, being responsible for its success. Obviously, you take responsibility for the losses, but you also get credit for the wins. And it was very interesting as a challenge, to me to be able to own something end to end and gain a depth of expertise in comparison to breadth. Obviously, breadth has its own, you get to learn a lot about a lot of industries versus you get to choose to, get into one. So different strokes for different folks. I just felt like for me, I tend to like really get into the depth of something, and that takes a while. But after that point, it becomes like, I'm someone who can sort of navigate difficult territories once I get into the depths of things. And so it was just introspection about myself, how I thought I would be able to deal with product management versus consulting as a career choice. And yeah, but so each, there's no right answer, obviously. Everyone will have to look at how their skill set and their temperament sort of fits into
Hmm.
what they want to do.
Got it. And tell me more about your interviews on campus with Dream11, right from the CV shortlisting stage uh, to interviews. And I think in between the interviews and CV shortlisting stage, many product recruiters make you submit a PPT as well,
Yeah.
where they might ask you to maybe talk about a feature that you would want to include or exclude from the Dream11 app.
Yeah. So actually, fortunately, that did not happen in Dream11's case. I feel like at the ISB stage, when I was in ISB, I still hadn't completely captured, and I think that this is common for a lot of people. We hadn't really captured the essence of focusing on the problem, focusing on the process rather than the solution. There was a tendency to be very, like, oh, I have this good idea, so I'll try and fit this into the product somehow. So I don't think I would have done all that well in that PPT type round, at least at that stage, because it really was, some folks had really cracked it, and I remember having a chat with a friend where I was like, I don't understand what are you doing differently, and he just told me. I focus like, 70% of my time just describing the problem that I'm trying to solve and this and that. And then the solution is pretty, surface level. You don't really need to go into it. It's one thing to hear it, it's another thing to really internally digest it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I mean, obviously in the interviews, we were asked a lot of product questions. There as well, I think just first principle thinking, trying to really understand what, why do we want to do this? What do we want to achieve? What are the assumptions that I'm taking when I'm looking to solve this problem?
Hmm.
Uh, and clearly stating that, because no one's a mind reader, so no one's going to be able to think that, okay, you did all the due diligence in your head before you came to, XYZ things that you're suggesting to me. So
Hmm.
really clearly stating that out, I think really helped my case. I think the interviewers really felt like I was thorough in ensuring I was solving the right problem and then coming to sort of the solution part of it. So yeah, we actually had a few different rounds, all of which were around product thinking. Some were on the B2C side, some was on B2B. Uh,
Hmm.
but yeah, those were some of the very interesting interviewing experience. I remember by the time I got to the last round, I was very, like, because Dream11 was something that I had really enjoyed playing as a user. So I was very nervous. Like I thought there was no way I was going to get into the company. It was just too good to be true. But by the time I got to the last round, I was like, oh God, yeah, come on, just one more push, just give me Dream11, So
And
yeah.
how many rounds did you have?
I think there were three product interview rounds, and then there was one like culture fit round with the CPO and the HR.
And tell me more about the kind of questions you were asked, maybe, because that will
Yeah,
give our viewers who are PM
sure,
aspirants some glimpse of what is asked.
sure. Okay. So I remember the first round, I think it was around let's say Dream11 is looking to get involved with influencers,
Hmm.
like folks who are knowledgeable about cricket.
Hmm.
And they they want a way to promote those folks and make sure that people see their content. What would you do as a PM if you were given this task to make sure that that happened?
Hmm.
So that was, trying to design sort of I mean, eventually it was designing a flow that would enable influencers to interact on the Dream11 app, like maybe something as simple as like hosting a Insta Live on Dream11. That kind of a, there are a lot of solutions that eventually came out, but really trying to figure out why do we want the influencers to, what would the influencers want to do? What is their purpose behind it? What's their motivation? What is Dream11's motivation? What do we want for our users by doing something like this?
Hmm.
Uh, so there was a focus on that. I think that was the first round. Uh,
Hmm.
I think the second round was more it was more B2B in the sense that it was a generic pretty generic question that someone wants to launch, someone is running marketing campaigns and you are a company that handles the running of such things, or they've come to you with a feature request,
Hmm.
and their complaint is that their employees are sort of not happy with the current
Oh.
process, and you need to figure out, what would you do in this case.
Hmm.
So here it was really about figuring out why someone would be unhappy with the current process, uh,
Hmm.
whether it was inefficient, took too many steps, took too long to launch, took too much knowledge. Really trying to figure all of that out, then
Hmm.
mapping out each and every step that, okay, here's how it is currently done. And then sort of identifying one key question, which I think I was able to answer, which the interviewer was pretty happy with, was, if you've mapped all of this out, what would be the sort of the North Star for
Exactly.
your North Star metric for this particular exercise that you would do? And I think that was, I think at the time I had mentioned that, the time to launch a campaign would be something that I would be tracking
Hmm.
there. So that's something that he thought was really a good measure of, whether you're successful or not in solving this problem. Um, so yeah, that was, the second round, more of a B2B thing. I think in the third round it was more around uh, how would you interact with engineers? How would you
Hmm.
involve them in the planning process? Uh, how would you try and figure out, give them enough information with limited time constraints so that they're able to at least give you sort of a t-shirt sizing on the effort that is required? So it was an example that was given that you need to, let's say, reserve tables at a restaurant, and what are the components, like just at a component level, like there would be something on the restaurant side, something on the user side, all of those things, and how like just ensuring that you were able to look at each and every one of those aspects and include them so that the effort estimation was accurate. Uh,
Hmm.
and they had an engineer on the call as well, so there were a few technical aspects that he questioned on, that do you see this being a challenge, etc. So yeah, I was just being able to speak a little bit in, being able to converse with the engineer in a way that makes them feel heard as well.
Very
uh,
true.
yeah, so that was it. And then yeah, culture round was pretty much, I mean, obviously specific to Dream11, they have a culture acronym called DUPUT, which is around data obsession, um, output oriented, being able to put the user first, being able to have transparency, all of these qualities that they expect in a person,
Hmm.
so that they're a good culture fit in the company.
Hmm.
And it was just around trying to give instances of your past where you have sort of displayed these kind of characteristics, uh, and the usual, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, all of those kind of answers that, I mean, most people would have something in mind even before the interviews. So yeah.
And when you were in ISB, uh, as a PM aspirant, what did you optimize for? Was it CGPA? Was it BTC involvement, which is the Business Technology Club, or was it case competitions?
So again, I think honestly, it's a very personal choice. I personally, I could not stomach the fact that I would score less. Like some people are able to say that, okay, I am looking to product management. Typically, CGPA is not
Important, yeah.
an important KPI for that. Like you can get away with having a lower
Hmm.
CGPA and focus more on case competitions.
Hmm.
Me personally, having scored decently well throughout, I was just not able to, and maybe that's something I should have, but I wasn't able to, handle like getting a C or a D. So I was like, okay, this is there. I'll have to do this. Um, Case competitions, personally, I didn't think that helped me as much. I felt like it was. Also because I feel like my first principles were evolving at that point. So case competitions, if you have your first principles in place, I think they can be super helpful. But if you are still trying to figure out what exactly a good product manager does, what are the steps they follow, etc., it might get a little overwhelming, especially the number of case competitions that can come up, and each it's quantity versus quality. How many do you want to pursue and actively give? I was in the middle, I was giving uh, product applications for like 5 6 different companies at the same time, and
Hmm.
I think it did impact the kind of quality that I could deliver, especially for those PPT like cases where you
Yeah.
put in a lot of effort.
Hmm.
That's why I preferred the interview format, where at least, for the half an hour block or the 45-minute block, I can give you all my bandwidth and I can put my full focus on it, rather than 2 3 days where I have to share bandwidth with like a lot of companies. So I think what I ended up focusing on was trying to get a good sense of, I wouldn't say just the frameworks. Like
Hmm.
frameworks do definitely help you, with a structured way of thinking, which I think structure works very well for me. So I wanted like a set of the guidelines or rules that would make sense, that if a problem like this is encountered, these are the few steps that would typically help you. And then I did a lot of interview sort of practice with my there was a group of people that decided that product management was what they wanted to do. And we sort of really got into a lot of case prep and just trying to practice with each other. And that's when I also figured out, there might be some times when you need to deviate from the frameworks to be able to, like, it shouldn't feel like you are just stuck to a script. Obviously that makes the interviewer doubt whether you are actually being able to solve the case.
Oh.
So being able to on the fly say that, okay, this direction is not making sense, let's flip it to this, let's
Hmm.
try looking at it from a different lens. All of those things were things that came as you did interview prep with your friends. So
Very.
I that's what, yeah, that's the main place where I started putting in a lot of my effort.
And tell me more about the kind of work you've done at Dream11 through a project, which is, let's say, virtually the most memorable for you.
Oh, that's okay. There are a lot of projects. So I think, see, we were at Dream11. I've looked at a lot of different things. Some of which, like right now, some which are ongoing are like super on my head because like they are the ones that I've most recently done. Um, but when we started, I think so I was involved in the data platform side of things at Dream11, which is essentially any company, not just Dream11, would really care about their data. It is what
Hmm.
allows you to understand your customers, take decisions, etc.
True.
So the data platform just looks at all aspects of from the point of like right from the point of collecting the data. Like if you don't collect it, you can't use it. So
Hmm.
from ingesting the data to processing the data to storing it, then making it available across in different specialized ways that people can look into. So two things that I specifically looked into in this journey very early on in Dream11. One was being able to process the data correctly. So an ETL platform, which is where you get data from one place, transform it into something that is useful for your end users. For example, there might be uh, contest entries that happen, right? Every user joins different contests on the Dream11 app, but you as a business user care about the average revenue per user, or you care about the number of people who what is the profit that Dream11 gets after cutting out all the GST and cutting out all of those kind of things. So being able to take data from a source and dump it to a destination where all of this data is already created, processed, so that
Hmm.
when someone wants to query that data, it's a very simple process. They don't have to do that same complex calculation that was done. So one was an ETL platform that we created. The other was specifically a tool for drop-off analysis, which is called funnels. Uh,
Yeah.
so just as simple as how many people came on the app, then how many people created a team, how many people joined the contest. Uh, all of these steps are super important to Dream11. Sort of the same as on Amazon, you put an item in your cart, you choose to check out. Where are people dropping off at a certain point? Um, if yes, then it gives you, like, this is the place where you figure that out. Like, let's say there's a 50% drop that's happening from creating a team to joining a contest.
Hmm.
Then there are different ways that you can obviously think of to ensure that that doesn't happen, from the starting from just sending a push notification like a to your mobile phone that, hey, looks like you created a team, why don't you join this contest, we'll give you a 50% discount. All of those kind of things. It all starts with first having knowledge of where your drop off points are. So creating like a super flexible tool
Hmm.
uh, that would enable that to happen, because primarily what was happening before funnels was created was product managers in the company were very much dependent on the analytics folk to give this data to them on a platter, so to speak. And the problem with that kind of setup is, one, it is like there's a huge bottleneck on your analytics team's bandwidth. Another problem is that the analytics team themselves, this is fairly repetitive work for them. So having to do that is something that was causing attrition in the team as well, that we are not being able to focus on more strategic tasks. We are being asked to focus on something that's very repetitive, mundane, etc.
Mm,
So
mm,
just having a tool automate that, and these were obviously much earlier on. Now we are working on more Gen AI focused things. For example, a chatbot that answers questions around Dream11 data. All you have to do is ask the question in plain English. So this is more, with the coming up of Gen AI, we have been able to transition from this. But before that, there was specialized tools that we created that would do that. So yeah, it's been sort of an evolving journey. There's been an entire other track of experimentation that I was involved in as well. But just for the sake of brevity, yeah, these were some of the things that have sort of happened since I've joined Dream11.
got it. And last question for you is, what does your path look like as a product manager at Dream11 in terms of the pay packages and the positions, all the way up to, let's say, the chief product officer?
Um, so can you just help me again? What do
So
you do?
what are the typical product positions at
Yeah.
Dream11 and the pay packages right from, let's say, PM to the chief product officer?
Okay. Um, okay, so I can tell you the levels. I think the pay packages might be a little more. I'm not sure how much the company wants that out in the open, but for in terms of the positions, you start the lowest position that you can have. The starting position is an APM, which is a associate product manager. You then join as a so typically from business school, you would join as a product manager, which is an L3 level position.
Hmm,
Then you graduate to a senior product manager, which is L4. Then you become a director, which is L5.
hmm,
AVP is L6. Then there's VP, which is L7. And then from VP, you become SVP. SVP is senior vice president. That's L8. And I think from there on, it's CXO, which is L9 plus.
got it.
Yes.
Got Awesome. Thank you so much for the super duper insightful discussion, Aditya. And I'm pretty sure this will help all PM aspirants looking to enter into the domain after ISB.
Yeah, yeah, I hope it does. Thank you. This is super, super fun, super enjoyable to be part of this
Uh,
chat.
Thank you so much.